Beneficiaries of the Road Accident Fund have accused the entity of failing to pay salaries of the caregivers. They say this has been happening now for months. The beneficiaries are worried that they will be left without any caregivers if RAF continues to miss payments. They say some have threatened to quit. They also allege that RAF does not reimburse them on time with the funds they use to purchase medication. They have given RAF until month end to pay the salaries. For more on this, we're now joined by Road Accident Fund Spokesperson McIntosh Polela, and he joins us now via our video link. Mr. Polela, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Let's start off here. Why have caregivers not been paid as they claim by their beneficiaries?
Look, we've looked into, the questions by the SABC, and we actually don't find a lot of complaints, and we're surprised by that. In that, the SABC found people to talk to, and that there's not a lot of us that have come to us. However, we appreciate them going to the SABC, and we just want them to do a number of things to make sure that they are paid. Something like working closely with the RAF person that that is assigned to work with them, and getting in touch with us as soon as possible if there is a problem. Because like I said, I've looked at it, and I've looked at it with the operations department, and we weren't able to find a lot of cases and a lot of complaints from people.
So are you saying that it seems as if you are not aware of what's taking place, or it's just really a small group of people who say that they've been affected by this?
Look, it might be a small group of people with the regions, because what we did was to ask several regions if they have a lot of cases, and we find that they haven't had a lot of complaints. It may be that people maybe did not get in touch with the head office to complain, for us to look into the matter, to talk to the regions to see what exactly the problem is. Because there's a number of things that that people can do. Something like to ensure that there's a valid caregiver agreement in place, that we always make the caregiver payments to the caregiver themselves, and not necessarily the claimant. And this is a recent change, and it might have confused some people. We're just trying to find out where the problem is, and of course, because we want to make sure that people are paid, because it's important for us to take care of the people that are our caregivers and that look after our claimants.
But do you admit that one case is one case too many? And how soon can you try to get to the bottom of this to ensure that those who are beneficiaries and who are caregivers can get paid, as they claim that this has been happening for months now?
Look, how soon? Now that the operations department at head office level has been made aware of it, and by SABC, and we thank the SABC for that. And obviously they're on top of the problem to find out exactly what the problem is. If the regions need additional help from us at head office, we will do that to make sure that people are paid. Because it doesn't matter, as you say, how few are people that are complaining. It's important that they are paid for the work that they do, because the work they do is very important.
And was this ever communicated to you from your regional officers? Because you keep on saying that it's some of the regions, it seems as if they've been affected. And with this story, we know that it's the region in Mpumalanga that raised some of these concerns.
No, it wasn't communicated to us. The first time we hear of it is when the media raised it with us. And we appeal to the caregivers to make sure that they inform the RAF head office on time. If you've appointed a different caregiver, or if your current caregiver has resigned, and the process needs to be repeated, so that there's an intervention from our level if the regional office are not able to take care of the problem, just to make sure that we expedite the situation. Because again, I repeat, it's important for us to look after the claimants and the caregivers that look after them.
And how soon can something like this be resolved? I'm sure it's not the first time that as RAF you are dealing with something of this nature.
Well, look, now that we know about it as head office, we obviously need to be on top of things, and to make sure that we liaise with the regional offices where they can't resolve the problem, and we don't see why they can't resolve the problem, because it's as simple as completing the timesheets correctly and submitting to the RAF before they cut off, and to make sure that all the paperwork is in place. We don't see why that this is a problem now, when this has been happening for a long time. We know that there have been several changes. It might have confused some people, but if they need help, of course, head office is here to intervene to make sure that people are paid.
And what is your message now to beneficiaries and to caregivers to ensure that this matter will be resolved as soon as possible?
Head office is working with the regional office to make sure that the problem is solved. And if you continue to have a problem, please feel free to go to our website and get in touch with us, and we can help people on a personal level. We're always there to make sure that with the operations department that and the medical department, which is responsible for this part of of the RAF, to make sure that we solve the problem as soon as possible. And where people have not been paid for several months, and we don't know that there are people that have not been paid for several months, please feel free to call us. We will assist as best as possible.
All right, McIntosh, thank you so much for your time. That's Road Accident Fund spokesperson there, McIntosh Polela, just giving clarity in terms of what head office plans on doing, especially to those who have raised concerns in Mpumalanga when it comes to the non-payment of the beneficiaries and the caregivers in that province. And that's how we wrap up the first hour of the late edition. We'll be back at the top of 10 o'clock with your headlines. Stay tuned to SABC News.